Anyhow, I'm Officer Robert. I'm with the City of Toronto. I do the education program dealing with dog safety and how to approach dogs, what to do if a dog approaches you. And we're happy to be here today at the Baby Time Show to talk to some of the parents about safety concerns with dogs, to answer any of your questions about how to integrate the dog into your family, what you should be looking for, what you should be doing before the baby comes home. So we're going to do a quick little demonstration on obedience to begin with. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you should be telling your kids before they go up to touch a dog, the certain rules that they should be doing with that, followed by what you should do in the event that a loose dog comes running up to yourself or your child. So, the first 5 things that we always want to teach our dog is sit is one, down is one, stay is one, come is one, and heel is another one. And the reason why those are the first 5 and the most important 5 is the fact that if you have a dog that will respond to those commands, chances are he's going to respond to all kinds of other fun things like rolling over, shaking paws, speaking, all the different things. But those are the first 5 basics, and they're the most important. And in some cases, stay is the hardest one to teach a dog to do. The rest of them all come pretty easy. So to begin with, what you need to do is practice it every day. And to get your dog to sit, it's a simple command, dog's name, word, sit. If he doesn't do it, then you can either use a reward that would make his head go up and make him sit down, or you could place set him by putting your hand under his collar and lifting up on his head. So that's for sit. Down, again, is the same thing. You can use a reward where you can say down, down, and then the dog with a reward, he'll get that. Now, he's not getting any rewards from me, because he's not trained by cookies, but he knows all the commands through hand commands. Stay is another one where you just put your hand in front of the dog and then you could walk away from the dog. You should be able to walk around the dog. He shouldn't move. He should stay right where he is. He can look at you. He can follow you with his eyes, but not his body. So that's a good boy. Come is equally important. And Cody, come. And when you have them come to you, you want them to come in front of you, and you want them to be in front of you. And most times they should sit in front of you when you ask the dog to come to you. Now, heel is really important for all you new mothers out there, because if you're going to take your dog for a walk, you don't want the dog walking you or knocking over the stroller. So heel is really important. And we usually walk with the leash in our right hand and him on the left side. And the reason we do that is if he needs to be corrected, the correction is a sideways correction. It's not an upward jerk on him. It's just a sideways pop just to get his attention, just to break whatever he's looking at. So we don't want him to be fixated on one thing. So it's just a straight correction, and it's a full sideways. So what I wanted to do is not only talk quickly about that, I wanted to talk quickly about safety with dogs. Because children are attracted to dogs. Children either have an attraction to run up to a dog right away, or they have attraction to run away from a dog. Either way, that's one of the worst scenarios going. If they see a dog that they'd like to pet, the rule number 1, and it's the same for all ages, you need to ask permission of the owner. May I touch your dog? Even if you know the dog, always ask. And the reason I say that is that statistics prove most people that are bitten by dogs know the dog that bites them. It's your neighbor's dog, friend's dog, relative's dog, or their own. So always ask. May I touch your dog? And if you get permission to pet the dog, the second thing that's really important is with your hand. And your hand should start down by your side, not up top, not down on top of them, because a lot of times when they do this, then they think that they're going to get striped. Also, if your hand goes down, the dog wants to sniff your hand, and people get nervous, and what do? They pull their hand away, which is teasing the dog. So really, your hand starts from the side, it goes out to the dog, and we try and always keep our arms straight. That keeps our face back from the dog. So our hand just goes out, stays there, and then we can give him some tickles on his head. Now, I commonly see people going bang, bang, bang. It's not a basketball, so don't be banging on him. Just give him some tickles. That's what he likes. Hey, Cody. Now, for adults, when an adult goes up to meet a dog, one thing different that you have to remember as an adult is your height. And adults tend to go right up to the dog and go over the dog and put their hand down. This is a very dominant posture to a dog. So always, again, just kind of go sideways. If you can go sideways to the dog, that's great body language. Or you can just kneel down to the dog and stretch your hand out. That's great too. I don't have a problem with an open hand, a closed hand, or the back of the hand. I have a problem with people that pull their hand away. So I don't tell all the kids, oh, you got to make a fist when you put your hand out there. As long as you put your hand out there and it stays there and you're not poking at them, I'm fine with that. And that goes for all ages. The difference now, how to prevent dog bites deals with adults, toddlers, and school-age children. So how do we differentiate that? One, a little child is almost always with his caregiver. So if a loose dog comes running up, what we try and do with them is tell them just to give their caregiver a hug, mom, dad, or a babysitter, just give them a hug, don't move. If you can't, then just be still and give yourself a hug, and don't move away. Just be very, very still. The dog, we tell them two things about all dogs. One, they're extremely nosy. They're very, very nosy. They love to sniff things. That's what they do. And number two, they love to chase things. So if you try to run, the dog's going to chase you just because it's fun. So if you be still and you don't make any eye contact with the dog, you're not staring at him, you're just nice and still, give yourself a hug and look away, the dog's going to get bored with you because you're very boring. So the dog takes off and leaves you alone. But if you try to run, you jump, scream, kick, punch, then you're exciting to the dog, and that's why they go after you. The school-age children, what we do with them is basically ask them that if a dog comes running up to them, most of them have backpacks with them. So if they can just slowly take their backpack and just hold their backpack in front of them and look away and not move, that is like a shield. So they can just do that with the dog. Now, moms and dads, adults, grandparents, if you're out and a dog starts approaching you, do not flip out and grab the child and pick the child up as high as you can. Because as soon as you pick that child up, the feet are there, the feet are kicking, you're panicking, and you're going like this to get away from the dog, and what are you doing? You're inviting the dog closer to you because you're exciting. You're doing all the movements, and that's most times what happens in that scenario is the adult will get bit in the elbow. The dog will jump up and nail the elbow of the person because that is what's sticking out the furthest. So, you see a dog and it's coming towards you, the first thing you want to do is stop the excitement. Just be still. Have your child come over, have your child go in front of you, just put their face right into your body and just hold on to them. The second thing you can do is two of the most powerful words in the dog's vocabulary. No and down. You need to say those two words to the dog. Most dogs are told no more on a daily basis in their own name. So really what you want to do is just say no, down, and just stay at that and don't move. Look away from the dog. Most times, it's going to diffuse the situation. The dog's going to come over, the dog's going to sniff you, he's going to learn about you, and he's going to back away from you. He's not interested because you're not fun. So rule number one, golden rule, I want you to all remember this one. At no time, I don't care the size, the sex, the breed of the dog, the kind of dog it is, how close that dog is to your heart as far as a family member, you never leave the child and the dog unattended. If you have a child there and the dog's there, do not go to answer the phone, do not answer the door by leaving the two of them together. They can't be left together. That's when most accidents do happen, most serious accidents do happen when the adult leaves the room and, well, the dog, I trust him completely, but I'll get off topic here. The number one dog that I fear more than any other dog is the one where people tell me, don't worry about him, he'd never ever bite, he'd never hurt anything. Well, that's the one dog that I don't like. If you think your dog's not going to hurt something. So, basically, get him out, tune him up. And when I say tune up, get him into doing things. Cody, close. So you just get him into his basic routines. Get him into a routine that you think that you're going to be able to maintain once the baby's there. Going to gates, going to doors. Make sure that when you open up the door that you step out first, and then the dog comes out after you, so that he's not running out when you go to answer the door or anything. Feeding is the same thing. Don't let him accept any food unless he's told he can have it. So, Cody's got a little treat here. Now he's not allowed to eat stuff unless he's told he can have it. You should be able to leave it on the ground. You shouldn't touch it. They shouldn't go near it unless they're told they can have it. Cody, easy. And then that will allow him. So you want to get him into little habits like that. You do that just so when the baby starts teething and he's there with his nice little cracker, the dog comes along and goes, "Oh, my cracker." takes back with them. So that's why